Hey everyone, we are the Gratitude Girls.
The gratitude girls are in the house. Hi, Lori. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you, Catherine?
I'm in everything. I'm good. I'm really good. I'm so happy that we have this chance. Oh my gosh, did Carol Burnett say that? I'm so glad we had this time together. Remember when she did that? Am I showing what I used to watch on TV too soon in the show? Yeah, let's announce ourselves because I just gave away, half my age. So we're here tonight to coach and train, but really we're here to give you a show. We're here to present to you an aspect of the Gratitude Girls. My name is Catherine Asaro Myers, affectionately known as Rara. I'm broadcasting to you live tonight from beautiful Niagara on the Lake, often known as the city that's near Niagara Falls. So if you know this part of the country, you know that it's a quaint historic town, 25 minutes from the falls, 27 minutes from the falls on the US side. And if you don't know what Niagara Falls is, they're magical. Go and take a look. My partner lives in another magical city. Can you talk, Lori?
Yep, I am Lori Del Gradecki, and I am outside of Nashville, Tennessee.
We're doing a lot of talking about doing some things. So yeah, stay. If you just tuned in, stay on till the end of the show because we've got some fun things we're going to announce to you. So tonight, Lori, why don't we interview one another? And why don't we see what that feels like? Because we're always with our guests. And tonight we thought we would talk to one another and our audience based on their requests. And thank you so much. We don't talk long enough about it. We do our 5 and 10 minute coaching every week, but I think our audience asked us the right thing. Why can't we do it a little bit longer? So why not dedicate an entire show to gratitude? Pretend that this is your appointment with us. Schedule it in your mind that you reserve this session with Lori and I, and this is the thing that you've been waiting for. So we're going to give it to you. And then if you want more after tonight, then we'll put another layer. Think of it as layering on. But we're going to start with, right, Lori? We're going to start with our deep seated belief system about how we met and why we're here doing what we do. And you tell the story so well. I mean, I could tell it, but I just love listening to you.
Yeah, so Catherine and I met actually on stage in front of thousands of people. So we are both in a company that we use as the best marketing tool ever, send out cards. And we've both used it for very many years. And in that company, every year at their international convention, they have a theme for the year and then a winner for that award for that theme. And so way back in 2013, Catherine was the winner. So our CEO got up on stage. He starts telling all the accolades and attributes about the person. And then he calls them up on stage. And so I am the techie person. So I'm in the back. I'm taking pictures. I'm taking video because that way I can throw it on a card. I can send her a thank you card or a congratulations card, right? And then all of a sudden he announces that that year there's a tie. And so then he starts talking about the next person. And eventually he ends up calling my name. And so Catherine and I literally met on stage at our company's international convention in front of thousands of people who was who was picked by, not by corporate, but by all the distributors and customers in the company. They got to put in their thoughts of who they thought was the epitome of that theme for that year. And like I said, it was gratitude for 2013. So hence the way Gratitude Girls was born. We met on stage. We both are of the same mindset that nothing happens just by coincidence. There's a reason for everything. And we both felt like we were destined to do something from that. And literally in 2 minutes, Gratitude Girls was born. We didn't know at the time what we all were going to do with it, but we've been doing shows every month for the last, since 2013, so 11, almost 12 years. And we've been doing private coaching and training and speaking engagements and retreats and books. And What else?
Well, it grew, right? It grew from you and I to you and I, and as we shared other stories and our guests shared stories, and then it went to you and I and individual people and groups and companies and speaking. And that's the beauty of organic growth. You know, I live amongst the vineyards here, right? So I watch grapes grow and I watch farming and agriculture. And if you don't have an opportunity to watch that, you know, do it, because you watch a seed or you plant a seed and then you watch it grow. And that's what happened with us, right? We started to be nurtured by other people. And when other people nurture you, because you're always the one nurturing things in your business, so you're sort of cheering it on. But when someone else nurtures you because you can do something for them, there's exponential growth in that. And that's what we were able to experience organically, all because we met on stage. You know, everybody has their story. And we met because of our company, because Cody Bateman and Sendo Cards Promptings now had this vision to share gratitude, and we were the lucky recipients. I guess, you know, we worked for that. I mean, we were recognized for our efforts. And Lori is too humble to talk about how she was recognized for giving the most gifts in the company. And the day that we met, we knew that it was something big. And others saw that in us too. You know, you wonder how a star is born. How does someone say, you know, I'm going to make you a star? Because someone sees something in them. So somehow Cody saw something in us, and so did our peers, and so do our guests, and so do the clients that come to us. And this growth will keep going, and it will include more and more people, and it will create and radiate gratitude to a level over the last 11 years. And gratitude was a word. It's now a revolution and a movement. We have watched the seed of what gratitude was when we won these awards to what it is today. And it's $1 billion business. It is not just something someone says, I'm grateful. It is, companies are profiting from this word, from having speakers and speeches. And as far as I'm concerned, when they build a house, they should build a kitchen, a bathroom, and a gratitude room. I think builders should just make that part of, you know, the layout of a plan. And if you have a room that you can be grateful in, imagine what that's like. So think big, right? Lori, it was an amazing day the minute that we met. And I was just mentioning last night that you and I, every time we get together, we always look forward to speaking to one another, and we never want to stop talking. And it's 13 years. This is longer than any of my marriages ever lasted. I think this third marriage to David, it's 15 years, but nothing ever lasted that long with me. And we just keep going with that. You know, there's an alignment there that was just meant to be. So when it comes to third-party edification, Lori Del Credecchi is definitely someone I recommend you listen to when it comes to gratitude. And we can start by giving some tips.
Yes, absolutely. And so if you are tuning in, make sure you share us in your stories, forward this to a friend, forward it to your page. Make sure to tag us at Gratitude Girls on all social media. And we are going to give you 10 different tips on gratitude. So our first one, of course, is Gratitude Girls Journal, right? So if you haven't ever got it, go on Amazon, amazon.com or amazon.ca or your favorite place. You can always get it. But start the daily practice of writing down things you're grateful for. You could just do it in a physical notebook or even a digital note. I think there's power in actually writing it out though. Like I do mine digitally a lot, but there's power in writing it with a pen, with ink on paper, and then you can save them. Ours is 100 days. So if you get this, and it's a little bit different than everybody else's gratitude journal that's out there. So one, ours is a 100-day challenge. But two, in there, in when you go into it, you're going to see how we teach, coach, and train you to write in your gratitude journal. And we guarantee you, if you buy our book and you do the 100-day challenge and your life is not better after 100 days from doing it exactly the way we say every day, we will send you the money back for the book. That's how confident we are that your life will change for the better if you actually take our challenge.
And to date, everyone who has bought the book, no one has had their life not change or asked us, or have we had to do that, give anybody their money back. But let me say something about that book. When you get that book, take a picture, take a selfie of yourself with it. The guests that appear on our show, that you'll see our promotions for that. You'll see our guests holding the gratitude book. So why don't you do that? Send us that picture, and maybe we'll have something to say about you in our social media, because we have a pretty broad reach. So when you get that journal, even if it's not your first one, if it's your third one, hold them all up. Take a selfie with as many gratitude journals as you have and tag us, send it to us privately, put it on social media, and see what we're going to do with those selfies that you put out on social media. Because if you put it out there and you tag us, we'll see it. And yeah, then you'll see what's happening. Okay, I'll go to tip number 2. That was great, Lori. Thank you. So you know what a treasure is. You think of a big treasure chest and you open it up, whether they're big or little, tiny treasures. Train yourself to appreciate the little things. Think about that. A cup of coffee, a tea, a funny pet moment. So, you know, I'm on an iOS. So whatever I do here, a tiny pet moment, a beautiful sunset. These are all opportunities for gratitude. If someone brought you something, you know, sometimes people just, in my house, my husband brings me something. Sometimes people just bring you things because they're thinking of it. It happens to me. Or he'll make me something, and it's a little something, but it's like just what I would have wanted. So if I train myself to really appreciate that, which I do, I know how much it means when someone does it for me. And if you can train yourself for that, maybe you could actually do that for someone else and give them a moment that will make them stop and go,
Yeah, and I want to say just something on that really quickly because, a lot of times in business training, I've heard it a million times. I've heard it from a bunch of people that teach, coach, and train, and they're always a lot of times push, push, push. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Even my mom raised us. If you're awake, you are to be productive and profitable. And there's nothing wrong with that. You should have that drive and those goals and those things to push, push, push. But you also need to remember to take moments to treasure those moments. Like Catherine said, the beautiful sunset. My husband and I sit in our backyard and we have overlook a forest and we see the sunset every evening. That's one of our most favorite things to do. But I remember a couple years ago when I did actually start training myself to step back and take time to smell the roses and things like that, to cherish rather than always pushing. Like pushing is great, but you have to take time to cherish things too. And I remember one time looking at the sky and just looking at the clouds and going, wow, the clouds are so beautiful. And I literally, in 50 years of my life, don't remember ever looking at the clouds going, oh, wow, those are such beautiful clouds. God made a beautiful sky, right? So just like she said, cherish those treasures and take the time for that. And so the same thing along with that kind of is mindful moments, we're going to call tip number 3. So take time each day to be present in the moment. Mindfulness helps you to appreciate the good things that you have happening right now. So like one of the things every Tuesday, I take my grandson to the pool. That's one of the things we do. Our phones stay put up and we go to the pool, and it's just playing with him time. And so I'll get some work done in the morning, but during that time, that's totally his time. And we don't look at our phones, we don't do any business, we don't do anything at all except for, just work with him and play with him and have that moment with him. So make sure you have that with everybody that's important in your life, right? You always have it with your spouse. Catherine and David and Kevin and I all do this little game every single night. And I've never played games on my phone before because I've always just thought that they're tedious. but but there's this one game that we all do, and we have just gotten into it, and it's just like literally about 10 minutes every night. But every single night we do it, and we all enjoy it so much.
I love that. And on that, yes, that mindful moment is something that we have developed between us. And we're in different countries, we're in different cities, we're on different time zones. And we have decided that we will do this together every night. And it's not accountability checking in, it's something fun that we choose to do. And I mean, we look at each other and we're like, where's Lori and Kevin? What's happening? Is it time? This is part of our everyday narrative. So these mindful moments, they mean something, not just at the moment that it's happening. It means something before and after it happens, because it's part of what we're doing. So think about that. So that's tip number 3. All right. Tip number 1 was your gratitude journal. Tip number 2 is tiny treasures. Tip number 3 is mindful moments. And now we'll go on to tip number 4. I feel like we could go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Positive reflection. Before bed, think about what you do before bed. All right. You know what you do. Nothing wrong with that. Reflect on 3 things that went well that day, big or small. Reflect however you want. We write in our journal. If you want to reflect in your mind's eye, that's fine. If you want to tell your partner, that's fine. Reflect on 3 things. Positive reflection. All right, Lori.
All right. So number 5 is have a gratitude jar or box. So Kevin and I have one. So you can create a jar and you can put notes in it of things that you're grateful for. You can write down special things. And then, especially, anytime you want to revisit it for a positivity boost is great, but especially, on those like not so great days, right? Because we all go through those valleys and mountains, right? All of us do. No matter what race we are, no matter what financial status we are, no matter what is, if you're a human being, you go through valleys and ups and downs, right? And mountains. And so Kevin and I have made a gratitude box. And so we actually bought this white box at the store. I bought my living room is turquoise accent, so I bought little turquoise things, sequence things to put on it, and it says Kevin and Lori on it. And anytime we do something together that is fun, that's memorable, then I put a note or put receipts or put a trinket or something in that box. And that stays in our living room. It's showcased in our living room on a shelf.
That's beautiful. I have gratitude jars. Remember, we actually got one as a gift. Oh my gosh, one of our guests who appeared on our show, I didn't forget her name. She sent it to us, the race car. Yeah,
Melinda, yes.
Melinda Russell. She sent it to us, and we had that in our store in Sendell cards. I actually have 2 of them, and I love them. You just take a little empty card out of it and you write on it, and then you put it back in the jar. So, well, there's an empty card outside of it, so then the jar is very pretty and you can see inside, and it's folded, so some are aqua, some are red. I have 2 different jars, and then when it's full, then we open it, and I have things in there. When people come to our home, I'll ask them to write what they're grateful for, and they don't even have to put their name on it. and then we can just read it. So we have other people do that in our house. So that way we can hear, read, see what is going on in their life. So we sort of have that little genie jar. All right, next tip. Thank you for that. Thank you, power. All right, you want to be Superwoman, Superman, Spider-Man, Brenda Starr? Who do you want to be? Gosh, I'm showing my age. Thank you, power. Express gratitude to the people in your life. Now, you may think you do. Do they hear you? Express gratitude so that they understand what you're saying. A handwritten note. A simple thank you can make a huge difference. Now, I ordered something from Amazon today. I opened it up. They were for our retreat there. I ordered it yesterday. Rainbow fluoride crystals. And in the order was this surprise necklace with a heart handwritten note and another sort of little thing that said, thoughtful, and a burlap bag. So this was something from Amazon that typically gets thrown in a box, but this was a handwritten note saying, I hope you like this gift and enjoy the crystals. I am going to write an amazing review. So when we talk about the power of thank you, I want to just bring that over to thank people that you never met and never will meet for things that they do to you or for you. So I'm going to thank this supplier on Amazon, and I took some amazing pictures of the crystals with her note, and I'm going to thank her. Now, I don't have a way to send her a physical card at the moment, but when you go on Amazon and you give a review, that goes a long way. So or Google, wherever that is. So think about the power of thanking people that maybe don't even realize what you did for them and what they did for you. So you would thank them for what they did for you. And maybe one day you can do something for someone you don't know, like pay it forward, and they'll thank you energetically. If you haven't done that, there's a power in receiving a thank you, even if it's not said to your face. Do something where the thank you words will ripple.
Yes, absolutely. And so our seventh tip is to challenge the negative. So our brains tend to focus on negativity. And like we said before, everybody's going to go through ups and downs. So everybody in the world is going to have things happen in their life that it might be something bad, or it might not necessarily be bad, but something you just wish to not happen, right? So, but always try to find a silver lining. So, I thought of two things when I was thinking about this, and one was back in 2009, January 1st of 2009. I was 5.5 months pregnant with baby number 5, and I went into labor early. And this was, now they're more advanced, but back then, a lot of times things didn't she wasn't able to be kept. So I got home and I was crying and talking to God and kind of the woe is me attitude. And I just remember feeling like God was telling me, remember, you've got 4 other beautiful, healthy children. And that just really pricked my heart, for one, but for two, that's true. So find that silver lining, and then another thing that I thought of was when my kid's dad passed away in a car wreck. I remember I was at a Panera between meetings, and I had stopped in there real quick to grab a bite, and the whole place, all the tables were full. And I was like, oh, really? Of course. And I had just got done crying in the car because it was just one of those days. And so I saw a lady sitting at a table by herself, and I asked her if I could sit there just to eat really quick. So, of course, we start talking and talking about things. I found out she was a widow also. She had 7 kids. Her husband was killed in a car wreck, and 4 of them passed away with the dad. And the same thing that really pricked my heart of, my kid's dad was killed in a car wreck, but none of the kids were with him, thankfully. So find that silver lining. Sometimes it's hard, and it doesn't mean that you're not going to have the emotions. You should get mad, get sad, cry, yell, scream, whatever, get your pillow and scream into it, whatever you want to do. You should have those emotions, but try to still find that silver lining and then get through those emotions so you can walk forward in your life.
Mm. Yes, express yourself, right? Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Lori. Tip number 8, appreciate what you have. Okay, think about what you have around you. Lori touched on that. Think about what you currently have at this moment. You might be taking something for granted. Reflect on the times when you didn't have something that you enjoy right now. And this can heighten your appreciation. So I'll give you an example. I was at a store the other day and I asked a question and I said, "This is a lot of information. Are you sure you're supposed to ask me all this?" And she said, "Well, just to let you know, we still use DOS." I said, "What?" She said, "It's pretty safe." And I thought, all right. Well, anyway, I thought about that at that moment and appreciating what I had and the leaps in advance in technology. It's kind of silly about the story about how that came up, but the advance in technology and appreciating what we have right now and how we can communicate with our families, with our friends, in business, with people we don't know. We can connect with complete strangers. We didn't have that. When I was growing up, we had a telephone with a wire, and that wire was attached to the wall. And attached to the wall was a box that the phone can be unplugged or plugged in. So there were times that the phone could be removed and you had no way to speak on that phone. And back in the time when I wanted to speak to my mother, I would call the operator and say, "Can you please interrupt my mother and tell her it's her daughter?" And the operator would do that. And my mother she would say, "Okay, go ahead." And I would be listening and the operator would be listening and I'd say, "Hey, Mom, what are you doing?" So I'm talking to my sister. I'm like, "Well, I have to tell you something." We used to do that. So think about what we have right now and reflect on the times when you didn't have what you have. And then realize how fortunate we are. And I'm using communication as one of those things to be fortunate about because the company that we met over was based on Cody Bateman's prompting when he didn't say goodbye to his brother. And he didn't act on a prompting. So appreciate what you have and definitely heighten your appreciation with that.
Yes, that reminds me of a saying one time I heard that said, if you woke up tomorrow with only the things that you said that you were thankful for yesterday, what would you have tomorrow?
Hmm.
And that's like huge, right? Like I even get goosebumps still, even just thinking that. Like, and I know you and we we live gratitude, right? But I still definitely don't thank for every single thing I have. And there's a lot of things that I would not be happy if I didn't have them tomorrow, right? So, but that's just something to think about, right? And so our tip number 9 is gratitude through giving. So helping others is a great way to cultivate gratitude. So volunteer your time or donate to a cause that you care about. So one thing that the kids and I, as my kids grew up, we would donate our time, volunteer our time through different things about once a month. And so Martina McBride, one of the singers here in Nashville, she has an association. So we've done things for her several times, helping at like food drives that she's had and different things like that. We volunteered at the zoo, and that's kind of an extra perk because you get to play at the zoo the rest of the day too, for working there for a couple hours. So that was always nice anyway. But different things, we've moved, what was it? Like we've lived in 4 places, but we've moved like 6 times in the last 4 years. And so each time we donated more stuff. And so there was a ladies' home in Franklin that I've donated a lot of clothes. I can't wear my high heels anymore. And so I've donated all those. So different things you can donate, you can volunteer time, you can donate money, you can donate time, you can donate things, lots of things through giving.
Yeah, I think about that too, Lori. Every time we moved, we basically had like an open house because we either downsize or I don't know what we do, but we take things that we have, give it away, and then we go get new things. Right. Yeah. Well, you subscribe to that too. Tip number 10, and I have a story to tell you about this. And if you're watching to this point, yeah, hang in there because we have some great things to share. So tip number 10 is think outside the box. So this is a phrase that you hear all the time, think outside the box. And some people talk about the thinking inside the box and what does it mean? But it's a phrase that you'll remember. So we'll use this. Think outside the realm of what you might normally think. Think outside the realm of what you would consider easy and go a step further. Think about exercise. And I'm going to tell you a little story about that. So get creative. Find new ways to express gratitude. Take a photo. Take a photo of things you're thankful for. Keep those photos in your phone. Put them in a card. Share them with someone. Go and make something beautiful out of that and give it to someone. Think outside the box and be creative. So I want to share about something that I'm grateful for. I know how to go into deep meditation. I can really go into my mind's eye, my space, and I can clear everything. I have a whole theory on why I do this. And I can come up very ground zero when I'm into something and take on fresh information. That's how I make space in my brain. So I like to go to yoga and exercise, and I take a reformer Pilates class. And today I took a class in the morning, and then I went to a reformer Pilates class. Now that's a machine that moves, it's on cables. I was on that machine and I zoned out, and I think I fell asleep while I was exercising. I put myself, think about this. I was in this state of meditation. I'm on my back. There are 6, 7 girls in the room. The lights are bright. I'm doing these very hard moves. And I said to myself, self, in order to do this, I'm going to have to put my head somewhere else. I am going to have to go somewhere else and not think about how this is hurting. So I basically put myself somewhere else. And I was doing the moves. Now, I don't mean I fell asleep, rolled over, fell off the machine. I was doing a move, and the next time I realized I was doing a completely different move than everyone else, they had moved on, and I was still doing one leg out, one leg up. And I thought, I zoned out totally. And I know that my instructor knew that because she knows I, have these deep thoughts. So get creative. Now, I don't recommend you fall asleep when you're doing something. And when I told my husband, he said, I don't want you driving that reformer Pilates machine anymore if you're going to fall asleep. I said, I think I fell asleep. And really what I'm saying is I went into deep meditation, but I zoned out. So think outside the box, get creative, express gratitude. I am grateful that I was able to push through the pain because I could have quit, but I found another way to keep my body in one space and my mind away. It's like doing a cold plunge. It's like taking a cold shower. I actually imagine that water is hot and it's ice cold, and I can feel the steam. So think outside the box, be creative, find new ways to express gratitude. can't take a picture if you fall asleep while you're on a Pilates reformer machine like I was tonight, but take pictures of things you from my teacher. Take pictures of things that you're grateful for. So that's 10. Those are 10 tips. You have anything you want to say about that, Lori?
Yeah, no, just if you like these tips, make sure to share them on your social media, share them with a friend or tag us in your stories, share it in your stories to share it with someone else. And also, if you're watching this on our podcast, you can also leave us a nice review and share your gratitude for us helping you.
Also, if you have something that you would like, let's say you want to communicate something to your peers or to your company, maybe to your clients, and you're just not sure how to do that. Some of the things that we have been very successful with is doing that for you and with you. So you can contact us at Gratitude Girls at Coaching and Training, oh boy, at gmail.com. Did I get that right? That's our
Gratitude Girls Coaching at
coaching and training.
gmail.com. Yeah. Or you
Okay.
can also go to facebook.com/gratitude girls.
What's our Gmail? What's our Gmail address?
Yeah. Gratitude Girls Coaching at gmail.com.
Yeah. Okay. Super. Thank you. I know you just said that. All right. So yeah, thanks for reminding me what our email is. So if you think about it and you would like to convey this message and you'd like to have us assist you to do that, you could develop this in your business practice. And if you develop this as a culture in your practice with your clients and your peers, it might be the wind, imagine, that just goes beneath your wings and lifts you up. So if you know yoga and you know what tree pose is, you stand straight, you bring one leg to the floor, your ankle, or up to your thigh, and you're a tree. And you can keep your branches anywhere you want. But if you can bring your tree branches all the way up, then you could stand tall. And sometimes in the wind, trees move. So think about creating this movement in your current structure with the people that you do business with and the people that you associate with to learn gratitude. Because as a course, as a class, it will have a lasting effect and a ripple effect. So think about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, if you have a company with employees, like how great is that to get your employees involved in gratitude? So we've spoken at different companies and retreats as well as activities or conferences. So whatever you want to do, or if you are a person and you want to have a retreat, a gratitude retreat, then we can come in and do that for you. So we've done them in Canada, we've done them in different cities, and we can come and do them for you as well. So our next one will be announced very soon in Nashville. And so we'll give out those details pretty soon. So if you are interested in coming and attending our next Gratitude Girls retreat, make sure to tune in, make sure to let us know you're interested so we can get you on our list. And anything else before we say goodnight, Catherine?
No, you just did exactly what I was hoping you would do. Let people know we're going to be in Nashville together for a Gratitude Girls retreat. And if you want to be in, the details will come, but if you want to be in, just let us know because you will be there. You will be there with us if that's what you wish to do. Maybe the other thing is just to go onto our social media and check us out. And I know we said that in the beginning of the show, so if you're just tuning in late, go on to, we have LinkedIn pages that are personal pages, and we have an Instagram page, Facebook page, TikTok. You can go onto our social media and chat with us because it's sort of fun. That's what social media is about, right? Just
Yeah,
having some fun with us.
absolutely. At Gratitude Girls, like, share, follow us on all the channels. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.
Have a good night.